Hello all, and well, Happy New Year when it comes. Well, I won't be going out the night because I'm going to be having a few beers. So, just like to share with you my New Year celebrations, I suppose, Hogmanay, if you want to call it that, or New Year's Eve. This is one of my favourites, Foster's. I've got my tea in the oven, so that's me in for the night. Sitting in nice and cosy in my room, got the heater on. I've got another video compiling up for later on for you to watch. It's about the car mechanical parts. That's the one that's in the process of being made at the moment. So, yeah, I'd just like to wish you all, well, Happy New Year, whatever you've got planned. I mean, a new year, it's just basically the calendar months. It goes through the months of the calendar. They've got the Earth that rotates around the sun. That's your definitions of the new year. Really, it's what you want to, how you want to see it. I mean, it just resets the calendar. If you want it, it's just whatever way you look on it. A new year, you could have your New Year's resolution or whatever you feel you want to plan for the new year. Me, it's just like another day, because it is really. I mean, geography-wise, like the Earth going around the moon and all that sort of stuff. It's obviously how you look on it. That's the cosmic way of looking on it, I suppose. As happy as you make it. I mean, this has been a bizarre year for me anyway. You could probably bet it's going to be a bizarre year, or has been, 2020, for globally. So it's just been insane. It's the insanest of the insane years, 2020. Everything's just been turned upside down. I mean, this year for me, at the start of this year, this time last year, coming into 2020, to think that it would be like this year, it's just unthinkable, really. The amount of changes that's happened. Obviously, the global situation with the crisis, is what they call it. But like, say, for me personally, I mean, what I've experienced, obviously, is like nothing I've experienced before. That's like your everyday life, every day-to-day pattern of life. What you do, what you would take for granted as normal, has been changed. I mean, normally you would just go down to you would just leave the house when you want and go where you want, where you can afford to go. And you would take it for granted that you had the freedom to do what you want. And you just walk into, I mean, the hardest bit for me, anyway, is the keeping people apart. That's the toughest of the lot. Because in tough times, people should be together. That's my view of it anyway. That's the hardest bit, is driving people apart. Before that, I mean, it was just unthinkable to think that, it's all about keeping people apart, that hurts quite a lot, because we're human and we're meant to be together, we live together. So this year, as I say, it's like turned it back to front, and instead of coming together, it's forcing us apart. Although that's what it's like, keep it apart, stay apart. It's physically what they're saying. So going by what they're saying is all how I look on it, because they're saying stay apart, and that's tough. That's really a lot harder, and it goes against the grain of our nature. Well, we're not getting into that, like, but it's just to say it's a pretty crazy year. Crazy year. Just some of the things that I was going around, but I won't. I mean, I've got my views on it. I'm sure every single person that's able to make sort of heads or tails of what's going on, if they've got the ability to actually, I think if they're able to have a view, I mean, not everybody. It depends on obviously, and assuming that everybody would have their own like point of view on what's happening, but we all do, and I've got mine, but there's going to be only so much I'll share online. But I'm not going to say everybody's got their own opinion on it. I'm not saying either way on that one, but insane year. But like every new year, who knows what's going to happen the next minute? We just live every moment as it comes. That's what you do, whether you realise it or not. You always live the present, so you can have your sights set ahead 20, 30 years down the line in the future. What to build a future, like your pensions and all this, etc. Plan ahead, plan your future, But you're always living the present. Always living the present. I mean, future, past, and present is something anyway in its own right. Depends on how you look on it. It's like a concept. Time is like a concept. But and of course, this is about the new year. The calendar is time. It's a concept that we've got a calendar. I mean, no doubt there's a lot of history to the calendar come around, and you can research it all that. But I'm going to have to pause that for a minute. But this is for after my tea. Shortbread at New Year. I always have that traditionally. Those that know me know I like shortbread. Bear with me a minute. Yeah, it was just having to sort the memory on just sorting out this phone, because I've got it on a wee tripod, a mini tripod, and then sitting on the table, and I've got my tea in the oven, so that'll be ready shortly. So you might see this thing falling. I don't know. As I say, it's just this year has been quite amazing though, because in some ways I've done things I thought I'd never do. Like, for example, everything obviously, as you probably are aware, is moving towards using the internet. And I never thought I'd be doing videos. This time last year I would never have dreamt of me doing this. I mean, it's just transformed a lot of things. That's my oven going off for the tea. Bear with me. Right. Just try to get this to line up here. I've had to move the table forward a bit. Just try to get it to. As you could probably guess, I haven't rehearsed any of this. This is just winging it. Winging it, as it's called. Right, don't fall. I don't want to cut off. So I'm just going to have my pint and have my tea, and I'll have a wee blether here for New Year. Just for all those that have that's watched my videos. Well, thanks very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed my videos over the start of me joining YouTube back in the spring of this year. It was just after lockdown 2020. Basically, because there was nothing else to do, and I'm interested in buses, old buses. I drive buses, Dundee buses, and it's a hobby of mine. So I couldn't obviously go to the usual rallies and bus shows because of all the restrictions. Everything was locked down. So to get the photos and stuff, I had to go to Facebook. I had to join Facebook in order to get them, because there was no really any other way. So I had to join Facebook, and from there basically it just sort of rubbed off. The more other things I was able to access. I mean, I'm like a dinosaur, and a technophobe. Really am. Just, I never thought I would be seeing myself doing anything like this time last year. But well, I'd like to thank every one of you for those that have subscribed to my channel. And all my viewers that have enjoyed my videos, hopefully. Hope you all wish you all a happy new year when it comes, which is only very shortly. But I'll be doing a video chat with my other friends over a few beers later. I don't think I'll be in the best of states to make a video, so I'll be a bit sleepy, and I don't think I'll be able to concentrate too well on compiling up a video accurately, so I'll get it done now. Well, I just say, New Year's what you make it, what you do. It's just like another year, basically, another day, another month. You always live the present, and that's my view anyway. Everybody's got their own view, whether that view's to go with other people's views, that's still their view. I do, we all do, I guess. Follow the trends, whatever you're doing anyway, as I say, just hope whatever it is all works out for you. Oh, it's delicious. It was all, yeah, it was busy. So, looking forward to this. Well, those that know me, as I say, know I love shortbread. Oh, delicious. But I've got plans for the videos for next year. I've got a few videos, one loading now, that are being made up, compiled up just now, that will probably overlap the new year, so I'll have the date 2020 on it, but won't be actually put out till 2021. Yeah, it's been a very unusual year for me. I mean, I used to go to lots of these, well, travel up and down the UK to go to visit the stock car racing. I'm a great fan of that. I love it. I love the stock car racing, banger racing. It's just old cars basically, taking them around the circuit and smashing to pieces, crashing into each other. And they go at speed as well. Not just, I mean, they could hit speeds of up to 50, 60 miles an hour and have crashes at that speed. Yeah, really spectacular. Absolutely bonkers, but great fun to watch. And I've tried it years ago, but I did give it a shot, and I wasn't bothered about winning, even though I did win one of them. I wasn't bothered. I was just wanted to do it, to try it out. It was just all about enjoying it for me. Check our flag fell, and I went, oh, I won. I got the medal. Stowed away. I've never got it etched yet. I've actually put a bit on my YouTube video about that if you want to see it. There's a wee bit on it, built it. But I miss travelling. I mean, I just hope I could get to do all that again soon. Obviously, we all hope to get back to what we call normal as soon as possible. But yeah, I used to do that. I used to travel for lots of things up and down, you know, on my free time, like holidays, sightseeing. I've got loads of photographs. I'll probably get this made into a slideshow one day, and I could show you some of the places that I've visited if you want to see them. But a picture of the old Prisoner Cell Block H studios down in Australia, Melbourne. I went there in 2014. It was winter, which is there summer. I'm just going to reset that memory. Bear with me. Yeah, I was just readjusting the memory for it. Obviously, once the phone gets full up, I've got to move it onto the SD card. It's just basic equipment I've got. As I say, I'm a technophobe, really. You wouldn't think it. Well, no, this time last year, I wouldn't be dreaming about, you know, with all the stuff like laptop and camcorders and that. I mean, I had a camera phone, that was about it. Done everything, you know, just take photographs and that, but never intentionally for online. That's why a lot of the older videos videos I've got on the YouTube channel now, the ones that have older footage that I've taken, like for the documentary for the Minuscell Multis, for example, I took footage 10 years ago, but I wasn't actually taking it for the intentions of putting it online, so it wasn't really, you know, the best shots. It was just for my own sort of records. But well, this is chicken and ham, potatoes. It's basically the stuff you get at Tesco's there. Comes in a foil dish. Just take the lid off, stick it in the oven, throw some chips, close the oven door, turn it up to 170, 180. Stick it for 25 minutes. We'll have a pot boiling with some frozen veg or peeled veg or whatever. Some of that. It's a bit of a cooking lesson. And 25 minutes later, you could be doing whatever you want to do at that time, and then it's ready for you. That's how I do it. Another tip if you want to enjoy a meal in the evening is to starve yourself all day. Have not so much during the day and then you have this nice tea to look forward to. It's actually the wrong way. You should actually eat more during the day and then burn it off as the day goes. But I work shifts on the buses, so my sleeping and eating patterns are just thrown out. You know, I've been on the buses for over 12 years now. Took me a while to get used to the shifts, but not really. I kind of got adapted to it fairly easy. Shifts are hard to move. It's hard on the system, the body system, because it can't get into, you know, sync. The natural way of things. It's like something to do with the body circadian rhythm. It's got to do with the natural body clock and all that sort of stuff. But no, I've see, this year's been a bizarre year, like, but it's got like it's as I say, this is a plus thing, plus side of it, I suppose, because I've took something out of it to benefit me, and that's doing like this sort of stuff, because I enjoy travelling and getting out and about. And I like to share it now. I'm able to share it with people that are interested in it and would like to see it. So I'm able to do that now, whereas before I probably would never have considered doing it. So for that reason, I've took something out of what's happening this year, to my advantage. But like I say, it's changing everything, sort of like going online now, which is depending on how you look on it. I mean, the old traditional way of things is you used to go out the house to go to places like shops. You would go into the town, and you would. I used to look forward to doing that. It was a big thing. It was in the 80s and 90s when I was growing up. Getting out of the house, going into the town centre, all the shops. It was getting a bit of a thrill, a bit of excitement. With my friends at the swimming baths, the old Olympia Centre. Things like that. You were actually outside and you were outside playing. We were outside playing, physical stuff, climb things, climb trees and climb buildings. I climbed that Minnesota water tower with my mate. That's a water tower structure that's really high. It holds the water up at a high level because water flows. It uses the gravity to pressure feed the cold water into the houses. And being on Minas Hill, whereas the housing estate, and obviously for those that don't know, Dundee City, the city of Dundee has the Minas Hill housing scheme on the west side of the city. The Minas Hill's at quite a high point up in it. There's St Mary's, which is high, and there's Clark Reservoir, which is near St Mary's, where there's a water tower there also. And because obviously the line's higher, the water will flow down, uses the gravity for the pressure for the the water for the taps in your house, etc. Back in 1989, I was only 14, 15, and I climbed it. Me and my mate climbed up. Got some great views, I'll tell you. That was dangerous. I mean, you fell off that height, that was it. Game over. But it's the sort of things, what we did. We're out playing, we done things, we went out physically. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not what's happening now, but there certainly, back then, there wasn't, known to us anyway, internet and mobile phones and all the stuff that there's technology now. There wasn't like anything like that back then. I have more imagination, you've done more. I used to, obviously, at school all day, we used to look forward to going out at night, just muck around. At the weekends and that, you would look forward to the town. I used to look forward to that. But, I mean, later on, I had my own things as well when I grew up. I was always interested in buses. I was a bus spotter, so I have been since I was very young. And I've got, the reasons that got me into buses, but this video would be too long to explain all that, how I got interested in buses, but I'm not going to. No. I was always interested in vehicles when I was a kid anyway. And buses obviously being, big vehicles, generate a lot of interest for me. But there's another story about a fleet of buses that Dundee had that were special to me. I just thought I had a very interesting history, but I'll leave it at that because it would just be those that know me will know exactly what I'm talking about. Buses with the brown seats. But I'll leave that for another video because I'm not gonna. It's only so long you can go on for. But those of you who've watched my videos before will know roughly how long they last, and I've talked about lots of things on my videos before, especially the driving ones, where you've probably heard me talk about the Mandela Effect phenomenon. Now that is a very interesting phenomenon, for me, and it's a very fascinating one. Bear with me a minute, I'm just going to, you probably know what I was doing. I was just sorting out the offloading, dumping the data off the phone memory on the SD card. As I say, it's a basic phone, not got a big internal memory on it. The more apps you install, the more internal memory that it uses. So I've not got, I'm not setting the camcorder up, just using the phone. This is just a blether video anyway, just I'm not going out anywhere, so I don't need to rig up anything, and just, I was on about, what was it, the Mandela Effect, wasn't it? Well, those are Well, that phenomenon. Oh gosh, quite a big one. We just start. Sorry I brought it up now. If you look back on my YouTube video, I actually done a few videos about it. It's called the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect phenomenon. Just look it up online. And I'll leave it at that because it's too big a subject. You know, I mean, in relaxing, I can't really be. I've got to be careful how I put it to make it clear, to explain it properly. But in a nutshell, as if we were there. If you were there, I could speak to you about it, like, you know. But because this is a video and it's just one-way conversation with this, it's. See, if I say it in a nutshell, you just think it was bonkers. Well, you probably do it. Who knows? It's like history's changed. Right? That's one way I could put it, in a nutshell. It's like history has actually changed. But you've got to ask yourself, what is reality and what is history? And a lot of people, skeptics, just dismiss it as false memory. No, as I said before on every other videos, and I'll say it on this one as well, when I talk about the Mandela Effect, the first thing I will say is that if you are interested in the Mandela Effect, I would suggest that you do your own research into it and come to your own conclusions about it. Really, that's it. I can't, and I'm not intending on trying to convert or convince people that this is real, or, you know, that you should believe me. I'm not trying to fool anybody into this. This is only me expressing what I've experienced. And I've experienced it firsthand, unmistakably and undoubtedly. 100%, very certain of that. Now, the Mandela Effect, I didn't name it the Mandela Effect. And I'm not actually saying that what I've experienced is that kind of like what I've experienced resembles something like what's online that's referred to as the Mandela Effect. So there's a phenomena. If you go online, type in the Mandela Effect, you'll come up with, you'll find information about it. And it's a phenomena widely known online called the Mandela Effect. And I've experienced firsthand experiences that resemble, that are similar, or like what they're describing as the Mandela Effect. Whether it is the Mandela Effect, it's a noun. That name, Mandela Effect, is a noun. It's a name that they've given it, a name that they've called this phenomena. This phenomena is, if it is a phenomena, well, whatever, the experience anyway, I've experienced. I'm honest that I've experienced, but do know that honest and all this saying that is only my word, and I'm not there to convince you of anything. I'm just there expressing what I've experienced, and I know from that I've experienced that. And it's up to you if you're interested to look into it and see what you come up with. But it's absolutely mind-blowing, really. It's absolutely a mind-blowing phenomena. When you, before that, you know, we grew up, we were taught what was possible and what wasn't possible. I mean, I was taught what was possible, what was regarded as possible, and what was regarded as impossible. And I grew up with that, with these ideas. But deep down, and I believe we all know anyway, deep down, I always felt there was a lot more. You know, like supernatural. I believe it in it, and I believe in it because I've experienced it. But even when I was a kid, I felt there was a lot more to life than what we're taught is possible and what is impossible, based on proof, etc. And I fully understand that people need proof to, you know, you need scientific proof. That's fine. They won't believe it without it. That's fair. That's not a problem. I mean, physics was my favourite and strongest subject at school. Science, physics. That was the one I was really interested in. That was the best one, subject I'd done best in. So yeah, I mean, I think like that also. But I go by what I feel, first of all. I'll put my own feelings first. And I know what I felt. Oh, this is delicious. But you should do your own, if you're interested, do your own research into it and come to your own conclusions about the Mandela Effect. And if you are interested and when you start, you'll see just how mind-boggling that it actually is. It changes like everything. It changes the perception of everything. It's big. You know, it's really something. I don't know what's causing it. I know it's suggestion. I don't know what it is. Or there's lots of supernatural things. I mean, supernatural is just a noun. It's a description of it's a way of looking at it. It's only supernatural for those that don't understand it. If it's not going to be supernatural for those that are causing something that's to be regarded or seen as supernatural to those that don't know what's causing it. It's like science fiction. I mean, if something is science fiction, it's science fiction to the viewer. But the ones that are actually making it happen, this science fiction thing, to those it will be obviously fact, because they're the ones that are making it, so it will be science fact. It's only science, it's from your point of perspective. But I've experienced this Mandela Effect phenomena in the last few years, recently that is. Even before, many years before, I knew there was something, and it came more to light. I didn't know there was a phenomenon online called the Mandela Effect until recently. For me, I only came across the online topic referred to as the Mandela Effect recently. I mean, like 4 or 5 years ago. Well, 4 years ago. 2020, so it'd be the end of middle of 2016. At the start of 2016, I was starting to. There was things that were just screaming out to me that, you know, start waking up or looking, noticing, learning, and, you know, I wake up every morning when I get out of bed. So I won't use terms. I'm not suggesting or trying to. But 2016 was. I came across something around about the spring of 2016 that just started making me question things. You know, what before I would have taken more for granted. The Mandela Effect. The later part of 2016 is when I came across the name, the Mandela Effect, online. But even well before that, I came across a phenomenon like that. I mean, back in the 2000s, and even well before that. I mean, even in the 80s, I knew there was something, because I didn't know anything like called the Mandela Effect. By the way, it's to do with it was named the Mandela Effect because Nelson Mandela died. There was people remember him dying in the 80s and the 90s. He didn't die until 2013. I'm talking like hundreds of people, and even an article about it. Again, you will get all this. You'll get all the spiel about it online. You'll get all the, you know, just Google it up, type in the Mandela Effect, and you'll get loads of stuff online about it. But I could safely say, 100%, I could say that I've experienced something that resembles what is online. Now, I said I don't know what it is, so I can't say that, yeah, that's because I don't know what's going on. But I do know that, like I say, history changing. Yeah, definitely things that I've experienced firsthand. But as I say, it's a mind-blowing subject. But there's a lot more supernatural things that I've started to experience. Now, and not anything like, I'm not religious, I'm not into all these, what would you, could you say, rituals or anything like that. No, not into that. I'm not into any, all this hocus pocus, as some people call it. I'm not into anything like that, or anything like that. Or I'm not into, I don't call it anything. I don't call anything, like, describe anything like that as, you know, that's not words with me, that's just what I've been told, what I've heard. I've got an open mind. I'm not going to say that, no, that's just, and no, I'm not. No, I've got an open mind. But I'm saying I'm not into anything like supernatural rituals or, no, I'm not. I never have been. So, and I've, as I say, I've experienced that sort of stuff that I was talking about, the Mandela Effect. Just going to show this memory. Yeah, so just, I'm not going to go on too much more because too long, isn't it? No, as I was saying, I was just, videos really just about mainly wishing you all hope everything goes well for you for the 2021. That goes for everybody. You know, everybody's watching this and everybody else. You know, there's only whoever's watching this. You know, I just hope it all goes well for you for 2021. Happy New Year when it comes. And those that have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and enjoyed them, you know, thanks very much for that. And yeah, keep looking out for videos that I plan on doing for next year as well. So yeah, yeah. So I'll be looking forward to that. It's not bad. Yeah, just gonna chill out for the night. But yeah, I've got a few videos. I've got some ideas for next year. No. I've got myself just recently bought a device where I could get photographs online, photographs that I've taken years ago, and get them onto the video basically. You know, the old way I used to do it was just photograph with the phone, but I don't really have a great knowledge of all the computer stuff. As I say, I'm new to this. This bizarre year 2020 is just sort of like changed a lot of things, but yeah, so I'm planning on putting some pictures up online of old buildings, pictures that I've taken of Whitfield is one of the subjects I'd like to make a video about. The old scarring blocks, Whitfield scarring blocks. You see, I used to stay, not in Whitfield as such, I used to, since I was born till I was 5, I stayed at Cheviot Crescent, which was on the very northeast edge of Dundee City. Fintry, basically. Well, the very edge of Fintry was Cheviot Crescent, which was next door to Whitfield housing scheme, which was right on the corner of Dundee City. It was Whitfield, when it was first opened in the mid-60s, well, it was the late 60s, early 70s, they had all the ideas it was going to be such and such, you know, when they built it and designed it, it was to be how they wanted it to be. But it didn't, let's just say it wasn't really a success, because shortly after they were regenerating it, you know, they were reconstructing things, you know, not long after it was built. So it was, I've heard some people describe it as being just a bit of a disaster, you know. I've heard people describe it as being a bit of a rough scheme, like, you know, it was quite, but I'm not slagging Whitfield off, because I'm actually quite fascinated in Whitfield. I like the Whitfield But it's changed a lot. It's become quite a good scheme now. It's gone through a lot of regeneration. But every city's got kind of like rougher areas and that. And Dundee is no exception. But no, Whitfield, I liked. I was fascinated in the. I mean, I was very young. I mean, I was under 5. I was up till I was 5. But I remember the blocks in Whitfield, the scarring blocks. The shape of them were just so unusual. I've got photographs of. I've got it up on the wall. I have the 3 decade, but I'm going to get them up. The ones that I taken. Obviously not when I was that age, but much later. Because not long after they were built, the scheme was opened in about late 60s, early 70s, and by about the mid 80s there were like derelict blocks already. Yeah, and in the late 80s, early 90s, was when I was old enough to then go and explore and go in the buildings. And my mate, he used to come along sometimes as well on a Sunday, but I used to go. I was really interested in the architecture. I mean, fascinated by it. And I took pictures in the early 90s, 1991. So I'll try and get a slideshow. I'm going to make a wee sort of video about the Whitfield scarring, and just sort of like show you how it looks like now today and what it looked like, how it was built originally. I stayed at, I've been in Meenassil ever since. So that's since 1980, that's 40 years, coming up for 41 years. Before, say, 5 years in Cheviot Crescent, near Whitfield. But even although we moved to Meenassil in 1980, I still used to go back to Finchley up to about the mid-80s, 86 actually, 1986. So I remember the blocks, Whitfield, as well, in the 80s. But like I say, it was quite a rough scheme, like, I'm not saying all parts, but I'm not saying anything about that. I'm not saying that it's a rough scheme, I just heard, that's what I've heard it being referred to as that. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm not going to say that about any scheme, because I don't agree with the labelling. So I don't agree with the labelling. But it's had a lot of fascinating, the shapes. It was an unusual design, the scar blocks. Whitfield had 2 multi-storey blocks, and in fact, if you want to know more about Whitfield, just type Whitfield in, Google it up, and you'll get a lot more. You'll get something online about it, and then I'll put my stuff up online. What I'm going to say about it, and show my videos and footage what I've taken about Whitfield. But you can easily get information about the Whitfield housing scheme in Dundee online. You'll get an idea about the scarring blocks, but you'll see photos that have been put up. But I'm going to make a wee sort of article about it and put that up for you to see as well. But yeah, Dundee's quite. I've lived in Dundee all my life, so it's got a lot of interesting building types. I put up videos just not that long ago. There's part C I put up. It's about closed down buildings and forgotten streets of Dundee. So if you look back at my YouTube channel, you'll see I've got part A and part B up. At this time, when I'm doing this video, it depends on when you see this, of course. You can see this time next year for all I know, in which case part C should be up there. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to wait to chill out. Well, I just hope you have a nice new year and that. Enjoy Hogmanay. Have a new year, and hope your plans, whatever your plans are for the new year, will all work out for you and that. Thanks for those that have subscribed and enjoyed watching my videos, and I hope you keep on. Stay tuned and see what stuff I put up. This is all new to me. This is all kind of like, I've not got I don't have expensive equipment. I can't afford it, so I'm just making the most of the equipment that I've got and the techniques that I use. I'm no cameraman and no presenter. So I'm just doing what I can at the moment. But if you've got any, like, if there's any suggestions and stuff that you want to put in the comments that you want me to film, I'll just stick them in the comments, and if I get around to reading them, I'll hopefully do, and then I'll be interested in reading what your comments like, you know. So I'll just see what 2021 brings for us all. So let's hope that all things get back to what we called it normal. Like what we do miss is familiarity. Familiarity is really what we miss. What we regarded as normal. I mean, before all this, I mean, before 2020, before spring 2020, let's just say there was problems before 2020, spring 2020. There was problems going on in the world before. And so, I mean, to wish to go back, things were the good old days. Oh, it's great to go back. You know, wish things were back to normal. I mean, you still had people that were on the streets homeless. You still had all the shit that went on in the world still went on before before March 2020. So what I want is hope things get back to familiarity, and always we get familiar. We as humans like to be we're comfortable when we're in familiar way of things. Once we get set in the ways, or at least I do anyway, once I'm set in the ways, I get comfortable with that. But once things have become upset, then it upsets everybody's routines. All the things we took for granted, all the things that we took for normal and for granted, is all suddenly upended, turned upside down. So then we become upset, or we become unfamiliar. Hang on a second. Yeah, you probably know the drill, what I was doing. Yeah. Aye, once you start upsetting people's lifestyles, it becomes really distressing. You know, so we're wanting to get back to comfort again. You just imagine if you're in a bath full of water and it's too hot, it starts to get too hot, you want to get out, start cooling down again. So it's something similar. Or if it's too cold, you want to get somewhere where it's warm to become comfortable. So when you're in unfamiliar ways of things, you just want to get back to somewhere where it's familiar. Come on, I just had the thing. Nearly finished anyway. Yeah, so once you, as you say, once you get back to, it's like if you're lost. You know, if you're in an area where you're not familiar with it, you become uncomfortable because you're not familiar with it. Well, I'm not familiar with this, the way things have turned out in 2020. I could say that, because it's completely, to me, it's just turned everything upside down. So I'm not familiar with it. So therefore I'm uncomfortable with it. And I could probably bet that you will as well. Thousands of people globally, you know. Because it's nothing that we've ever experienced, to my knowledge. I've never experienced anything like this. I mean, it doesn't have to be... I mean, things like just going to the town, going to the shops, the stuff, you know. The worst of it is keeping people apart. That's the hardest of the lot. That's the fundamental foundation of the whole thing. Driving people apart, that's the hardest bit. Everything else, I mean, like the normal stuff, you know, the inconvenience. Familiarity, as I say, comes to it because it has a big impact because that's what we do to become settled. And when you start, once that's buggered around with, then it just buggers up your lifestyle, and then you become everything's just upheaval, you know. But it goes a lot worse than that. You know, if you look at all the, you know, like people thought, you know, you could have a job for life and set aside for your future and all that's no. But anyway, see what the new year brings. So that's what we've always done anyway. Every year's gone by, you just live another one for the next one. It's like a thing where you say, well, why do we celebrate getting older? You know, why do we celebrate birthdays? just getting older. I mean, there's more to life than that. I mean, after the, this is an experience. I mean, the Mandela Effect and that is just, as I say, that kind of like knocks you a bit. That makes you think, wow, there's more to life than this. You know, the meaning of life every day. What do we actually do? You know, what we're looking for. What's the whole point in life? You know, what is it? Where did we come from? Where are we going, etc. You know, what's our purpose? On, you know, how did life form and all that? You know, all these questions are amazingly interesting, fascinating. You know, there's loads of books. Obviously, if you go by how everything started, the Big Bang Theory and all that sort of stuff. You know, but yeah, I mean, it's fascinating stuff. But the Mandela Effect, all that stuff before, like all the stuff that we're taught about how life was formed, is what we were taught, and that's what we just remembered, and we just took it. That's what it was, because we were taught that. So, but when you experience something like what we've been taught is impossible, then we call it based or mirrored off the supernatural, mirrored off the fact that we've been taught that it's impossible. So if we're taught something's impossible and we come across something that goes against that, and we call it, like, on the belief that it's impossible, then on that strength of that belief it's going to be supernatural, because it's not what we've been taught is possible. But if there's those that know how it is and what it is was causing it, or if they're causing it or whatever, if it's they, I mean, it's us, we are everything anyway. So it's not going to be supernatural to whatever's causing it. It's only going to be supernatural for the experience, the person's that's experiencing it, that doesn't know what's causing it, and only going by what they've been taught, using that as a means to say that, well, I've been taught that this isn't possible, and yet it's happened, and it's supernatural. But if you were taught that this was possible, then it wouldn't be regarded as supernatural. But anyway, I could talk about this. It's a fascinating subject. When I was a kid, I was really, really into, at least read all this, what was it now, the supernatural stuff. But that doesn't make me biased. In case you were thinking that, I'm not biased for that reason. So, anyway, I'm going to end the video. It's getting on a bit now. But, yep, okay. Thanks very much for watching this, and have a happy new year, okay? Take care, bye.